And welcome back to the live morning show. I'm here for the first time this morning. My good friend and trusted co-host Lem Carnegie got things rolling for us, and Parker Phillips with the Agribusiness Report. We've already heard from Fred as well. So got Mr. Greg Brown here with me this morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you.
Always a pleasure.
Working in the police department. You kind of throw that word retired out here and there. You know, it's kind of what does retired mean? It just means you kind of work when you want to, right?
we find in the, once law enforcement officers, when we retire, the real work begins.
Yeah, that's what I said. It used to be when you said retired, the thing was, I'm done working. But
yes, sir.
I think it just means you sometimes, in a lot of cases, you work even more than you did to start with. So we appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule to be with us today. We got a lot of things we're going to cover. The big thing is a big appreciation lunch. We're going to talk about that at the end for everyone. Let's go back to Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
Wednesday morning, we all wake up. We go about our normal business. Skies looked okay, and then as we get a little bit later in the morning, they got a little darker and a little darker.
Yes, sir.
But here's the question on everyone's mind. Maybe you can speak to this. Everyone seemed so ill prepared for this tornado, and the lack of warning. It just seems to have we've talked to Fred, our meteorologist, about this, but we saw a very unprecedented event here on Wednesday. Take us through what you have seen, what you have heard, and some of the aftermath of that.
Of course. So, like you said, I think this storm, I live not too far outside of Nashville in Spring Hope, and it just started as an afternoon storm at my house, and then just a few miles down the road, you saw what took place, and unfortunately there was severe damage, some injuries, but we were blessed that there were no lives lost during this storm. But when you say prepared, the sheriff's offices, we got two of the best sheriffs in North Carolina, and obviously I believe in the United States.
I agree.
I don't think you're going to find two sheriffs that work so close together.
I agree. Especially
with the community they're involved with. They don't just police their communities; they're a staple in the community.
Absolutely. I'm very, very impressed with how they collaborate as well. You mentioned, what they Edgecombe and Nash.
Yes, sir.
But how many times do you see them shoulder to shoulder, side by side, all the time? Speak to that effort and what you think that means to the community to see the two sheriffs, not only, like I say, boots to the ground, working hard, doing whatever it takes, but also having that collaborative effort together. What do you think that means for the community?
It means that they have two of the best top law enforcement officials that respond whenever, wherever, and they provide the resources to the community. Both these sheriffs' partnership with top government officials, local officials, citizens in the community. We can speak to that. Sunday, Governor Cooper came down.
Yes, he did.
Both the sheriffs were there. Our supervisor personnel were there as well. We had Alan Cheshire, Shelley Willingham, numerous county officials. I don't want to leave anybody out. That they took a tour of the damage. And Governor Cooper being from Nash County, I think that held to his heart dear.
Kind of hit home for him, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Our offices, we have equipment that I don't think any other sheriff's office has. We have Nash County. We have a cut team.
All right.
That these deputies. They're trained personnel. We have 2 or 3 trailers.
Right.
We've got our 4-wheel drive vehicles. We make sure everywhere is safe, that the power is cut off. We let our public utilities come in first.
Okay.
But they'll go in and they work numerous hours, straight through, cutting trees, moving trees, making sure debris that's out of the roadway.
Right.
So the citizens in those communities can get to their homes a lot safer.
I think it's a lost. I don't want to say forgotten, but when you lose your power or something like
Yes,
that,
sir.
your patience level isn't great. Like the
Right.
only thing
Yes,
you
sir.
can think of is me, and that. And I get that, especially if it's hot outside. But one of the things that impressed me, and I know that this is what the local officials and the governor saw, and it is that effort of how hard they are working. They are out there. They're doing everything they
Yes,
can.
sir.
They're, sometimes, and many times putting their life on the line, or doing work that, quite frankly, most of us wouldn't do or wouldn't know how to do. When you look back at the effort that has gone in, and we're still really just
Yes.
beginning. We've definitely still got a lot to clean up. What stands out to you the most about this, what you've seen from Wednesday on, as the sheriffs and the governor and the local officials and these workforce have come together? What have you seen that's impressed you the most here?
Just the way that everyone responded and committed. It took minutes
Yeah.
for everybody to get together,
Yeah.
and it was unwavering commitment,
Yeah, it was.
selfishness, hard work, and these guys got in there, and the men and women got in and just like you said, boots to the ground,
Yeah,
and got it done.
Absolutely.
I think they started at 1:30 and worked till 8, 9 o'clock that night.
Yeah, that
And-
first Wednesday was just incredible. I
Yes,
remember
sir.
driving through to see some of the damage and drive to, obviously some of the areas were off limits for the regular public
Right.
to drive through, but the scene was just, it was horrific as far as that goes. But
sir.
you swelled with a great sense of pride, and you hear all these stories about people that have stepped up and helped each other. Served each other. You hate to say this, but sometimes horrific tragedies, storms, weather events, you don't want to see them, but they
Right.
bring out the absolute best in
Correct.
our community.
Yes, sir. And just speaking with some of the deputies that were out working, they had the citizens in the communities come up to them and bring them, water, Gatorade, asked if they wanted something to eat.
Right.
I think one deputy, there were several lawn care services that had come
Yeah.
up that were prepared to go in, and they had their personnel there ready to go to work. And like you said, sometimes it takes incidents and events like this to bring us together. And we had the major damage right down the road at Pfizer,
I know.
and luckily no one was injured in that. All through Edgecombe County, I think the Bozeman farm was hit as well.
Yep.
That's a leading crop grower
Yeah,
for
exactly.
the area.
Exactly.
So yes, sir. But getting back to that, the sheriffs know what it took for everyone to come together
Right.
to make that happen,
Right.
to get everybody back to somewhat that they could get back to their homes. So what we wanted to do, and we discussed it, we're doing an appreciation lunch
Okay. Awesome.
Friday, August the 4th at noon, and that's going to be at the Leggett EMS Conference Center
Okay.
at 896 O'Neill Road in Whitakers. We're going to be, inviting. We're getting some letters together to give to
Okay.
these department heads to get their personnel together.
Outstanding.
But the sheriffs will be out there. We'll be cooking along with our personnel, and we just want to give back to let them know how much we appreciate them and show our gratitude and thanks to them.
Absolutely. I mean, that is a wonderful thing. Like you say, Friday, August 4th at
Yes, sir.
noon. You look at the collaborative effort that was put in place here, and like you say, you do want to give back. You want to rally the community. The perception, to me, Lem and I talk about the word perception all the time, and we've seen over the last couple of years media take their different spin with how people view law enforcement, and a lot of that is very, very unfortunate. So it warms my heart to see, like you say, these two wonderful sheriffs, Sheriff Atkinson, Sheriff Stone, coming
yes.
out, all the things that they do in the community, the officers and the deputies that they put in local schools and in other things to get out and meet people, the community drives and everything like that. But just that, going back to what you're saying, Greg, the response to this was just very
Yes.
impressive. I remember,
Yes, sir.
and that's why I'm glad you're here, because I remember looking back on this and saying, wow, they were, you never want to take that type of action. You never want to have it happen. But everything I've seen just goes to show you how prepared and how diligent Sheriff Stone and Sheriff Atkinson are. So.
Yes, sir.
Tell us again who will be invited
Yes,
to the lunch and some of the other details in case people are seeing this, say, hey, that person needs to know about this.
Sure.
How do they learn more?
Yes, sir. So we've already got our letters. We're going to be sending. It's going to be hand delivered to department heads. To
Right.
our public safety friends, public utilities.
Okay.
Community services and county services personnel.
Gotcha.
And they'll all be invited, and they'll have the information on that letter
Okay.
to contact us to let them know who will be attending. And like I said, we just want to give back
Absolutely.
to let show our gratitude and how much we appreciate them.
Well, it comes full circle,
Yes, sir.
and those are the things that you want to do. You look at police work, sheriff's work, and linesmen and utility workers and things like that. They, sometimes you just take them for granted. That you just, they're there. You just assume they're there. You take what they do for granted, which is unfortunate because we
Right.
shouldn't do that. But because they are so vitally important. But anything else that you would like to share with our viewers before we let you go this morning?
I mean, just again, I think we have, I appreciate you letting us come
Absolutely,
on. We
glad to
have
do it.
two of the best sheriffs, Sheriff Stone
I
and
agree.
Sheriff Atkinson,
I agree.
and we'll keep on pushing on, and we appreciate all of our communities that come together and support us as well.
Absolutely. Well, Greg, thank you so much
Yes, sir.
for joining us.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you being
Pleasure
here
as always.
on a short notice. We're going to go ahead and swap out and let Lim come back on here with us. And anytime that you have announcements
Yes,
or
sir.
anything like that, you can call us. I know our phone lines are down today, but you can call us
Yes,
and
sir.
we'll help you get the word out. But we appreciate you being
Yes, sir.
here.
Thank you.
All right, take care,
Yes,
buddy.
sir.